Welcome back to the Trip Window. Scotland is a land of legends. Get ready for an incredible adventure. Castles carved into cliffs, amazing. Mountains wrapped in mist, unforgettable. Whiskey crafted like liquid history. Cheers to that. Join us on a thrilling journey through Scotland's soul, its castles, its highlands, and its vibrant traditions. Towering atop an ancient volcano, Edinburgh Castle bursts from the city like a crown of stone. For over 1,000 years, this awe-inspiring fortress has ruled the skyline, standing as a bold witness to Scotland's wild, dramatic history. Its dark, jagged rock is the very heart from which Edinburgh sprang, a living symbol of power and permanence carved into the land. Every stone seems to hum with stories, every turret and battlement shouts of centuries of conflict, royalty, and resilience. This is more than a castle, it's the soul of Scotland's capital, a beacon of its unbreakable spirit. Fortress, palace, prison, Edinburgh Castle has worn them all, each leaving a thrilling mark on its character. As a fortress, it was one of the most fiercely contested places in all of Britain. Its mighty walls defied countless attacks, its position making it the ultimate prize in Scotland's epic battles. Imagine the thunder of Mons Meg, the legendary 15th century siege cannon booming across the city, a true roar of power. But its strength also made it a place of shadows. Deep within, the dungeons held pirates, prisoners of war, and political foes, their desperate hopes etched into ancient wood. The air is thick with the echoes of their stories. Yet amid the drama, this was also a dazzling royal palace. Here, kings were crowned and rebels imprisoned. In these very halls, Mary Queen of Scots gave birth to her son, James VI, the future king who would unite Scotland and England. And here, the honors of Scotland, the oldest crown jewels in Britain, are fiercely guarded. A magnificent crown, a sword of state, and a scepter, each sparkling with legend. After the crowns united, these treasures were locked away and forgotten for over a century, believed lost forever. But in 1818, the famous novelist Sir Walter Scott led a daring search and rediscovered them, restoring a piece of Scotland's heart to its people. Journey north where the Highlands meet the lowlands and Stirling Castle rises as the mighty guardian of Scotland's heart. Known as the Key to Scotland, its strategic grip on the River Forth meant whoever held Stirling held the kingdom. For centuries, armies clashed in its shadow, fighting for control of this vital gateway. The castle itself is a Renaissance masterpiece, a place of war, yes, but also of breathtaking culture and prestige. This was the glittering seat of the Stuart monarchs, including Mary, Queen of Scots, crowned here as a baby. Imagine the Scottish Renaissance in full swing, a court alive with poets, musicians, and artists. The royal palace was built to dazzle, its facade bursting with statues, its chambers glowing with tapestries and the famous Stirling heads, carved portraits of kings and queens. Step into the Great Hall, the largest ever built in Scotland, and you can almost hear the echoes of royal feasts and fierce debates that shaped a nation. And in the fields nearby, legends were born. William Wallace and Robert the Bruce fought for Scotland's freedom right here. At the Battle of Stirling Bridge in 1297, Wallace pulled off a jaw-dropping victory against a massive English army, using the narrow bridge as a trap. Then, in 1314, Robert the Bruce's genius and the fiery courage of his soldiers won the Battle of Bannockburn, securing Scotland's freedom for centuries. These are the moments that forged a nation's soul. And then, Eilean Donan. Instantly recognizable, this castle is a Scottish icon, but its story is one of jaw-dropping destruction and miraculous rebirth. Perched on a tiny island where three mighty sea lochs meet, Eilean Donan was first fortified in the 1200s to fend off Viking invaders. It became the stronghold of Clan Mackenzie and their fierce allies, the Macraes. But in 1719, during the wild Jacobite risings, Spanish soldiers took refuge here, only for government warships to blast the castle into ruins. For 2 centuries it stood abandoned, a haunting shell on the water. The breathtaking icon we see today is thanks to a heroic 20-year restoration, a true labor of love by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae Gilstrap. Now joined to the mainland by a graceful stone bridge, Eilean Donan is one of the world's most photographed castles. Its timeless beauty has enchanted millions, starring in films and standing as a global symbol of the Highlands' wild magic. From the royal might of Edinburgh, to the Renaissance splendor of Stirling, to the reborn wonder of Eilean Donan, these castles are so much more than stone and mortar. They are living symbols of Scotland's strength and beauty, proof of a nation that has battled for its soul, celebrated its culture and rebuilt its dreams against all odds. They are Scotland's stone-hearted storytellers, timeless, proud, and unforgettable. The Highlands stretch beyond imagination, a vast, ancient wilderness that forms the very soul of Scotland. This is a landscape forged in the crucible of deep time, born from the collision of continents and scoured by colossal rivers of ice. What a place to explore. The mountains you see today? They're the worn-down roots of a range that once rivaled the mighty Himalayas. It's a testament to the jaw-dropping power of geological forces. This is Scotland's wild heart, a sprawling expanse of moorland cloaked in purple heather, silent brooding lochs holding dark secrets, and Munros, mountains over 3,000 feet, that challenge the very sky. It's one of the last great wildernesses in Europe, a place where silence is a sound, and the cry of a golden eagle soaring on the thermals feels like the only voice for miles. The air here is different, clean, crisp, and charged with an untamable energy. You can feel it. And nowhere is that energy more powerful, more electrifying than in Glencoe. At first glance, its beauty is simply breathtaking. Rolling glens sweep down to the valley floor, their slopes painted in vibrant shades of green, ochre, and rust. But this is a beauty with a dark and thrilling past, both geologically and historically. The very mountains that frame this iconic valley, the Three Sisters, the formidable Eonach Igach Ridge, are the remnants of a massive supervolcano that collapsed in on itself 420 million years ago. They were shaped by fire. Then, during the last ice age, colossal glaciers carved through this volcanic rock, gouging out the U-shaped valley we see today. They were shaped by ice, nature at its most dramatic. This dramatic creation story gives the glen a haunting, almost intimidating atmosphere, but the deepest shadows here are cast by human history. Glencoe carries the unforgettable memory of clan betrayal. In the bitter winter of 1692, government soldiers, led by Captain Robert Campbell of Glenlyon, were given shelter by the MacDonalds of Glencoe. The tension is palpable. For nearly 2 weeks they shared food, drink, and stories. But the hospitality was a lie. On the morning of February 13th, the soldiers turned on their hosts in an act of shocking brutality, the infamous massacre of Glencoe. 38 men were murdered in their homes, while many more women and children fled into a blizzard, perishing in the snow. The glen is said to weep for them still, its mists like ghosts, its winds carrying a sorrowful whisper. To stand here is to feel the weight of that history, a powerful, unforgettable reminder that this beautiful land has witnessed profound tragedy. From the sorrow of Glencoe we travel north, to a place where history gives way to legend. Loch Ness. More than just a body of water, this is a vessel for one of the world's most enduring mysteries. The loch itself is a marvel of nature. Over 22 miles long and plunging to depths of nearly 800 feet, it holds more fresh water than all the lakes in England and Wales combined. Incredible. Its waters are dark and mysterious, stained by peat from the surrounding hills, reducing visibility to mere inches. It's in this impenetrable darkness that the legend of the Loch Ness monster was born. While tales of a water beast date back to the 6th century biography of St. Columba, the modern myth exploded in 1933, captivating the world. A new road along the loch's shore provided the first clear views of the water, and sightings began to flood in. The following year, the famous surgeon's photograph seemed to provide definitive proof, igniting imaginations everywhere. Though later revealed as a hoax, the legend of Nessie was already too powerful to die. The excitement lives on. For decades, visitors have flocked here, scanning the dark, rippling surface, binoculars and cameras at the ready. Tourboats crisscross the water, their sonar screens painting an electronic picture of the depths below. Expeditions have searched for the elusive creature, finding strange underwater formations and unexplained sonar contacts, but never the monster itself. Maybe Nessie isn't a creature of flesh and blood, but a creature of the human imagination, a symbol of the unknown, a thrilling question mark in a world that often feels too certain. Our journey concludes on the Isle of Skye, an island so dramatically beautiful, it feels like stepping into another world. Connected to the mainland by a bridge, Skye is the largest of the Inner Hebrides, a place where myth and geology collide to create landscapes of pure fantasy. The Trotternish Peninsula, in the north, is a masterpiece of geological chaos. Here, a massive ancient landslip has created a surreal panorama of pinnacles, cliffs, and plateaus. The most famous of these is the Old Man of Storr, a jagged monolith of rock that stands defiant against the skyline, said by legend to be the thumb of a giant buried in the earth. Nearby, the Ciarán offers a walking experience like no other, a path that winds through a maze of grassy mesas and rock formations with names like the Prison and the Needle. Adventure awaits. Further south, you'll find the enchanting fairy pools. Here, the River Brittle cascades down a series of waterfalls into pools of water so clear and vividly turquoise, they seem to belong to another realm. Folklore says this is where the fairies come to bathe, and standing by their crystalline waters, it's easy to believe in magic. From the dramatic cliffs of Neist Point at sunset, to the unique Kilt Rock, where a waterfall plunges directly into the sea, Skye is a constant source of wonder. It's a place shaped by the relentless power of the wind and the sea, a rugged, untamed landscape where every peak, every pool, and every standing stone seems to have a story to tell. Here, in the heart of the Highlands, myth and nature truly do live side by side. Beyond the castles and the legends, Scotland is the undisputed home of whiskey. The very name echoes through history, Uisce Beatha in Gaelic, meaning not just water of life, but the very spirit of this incredible nation. This isn't just a drink, it's liquid history, a craft perfected over centuries, and a global ambassador for Scottish pride. The first written record? All the way back in 1494, when a friar was ordered malt to make aqua vitae. From those humble beginnings, a legend was born, one that would shape the economy, the culture, and the very character of this rugged land. To truly understand Scotch whiskey, you have to understand its geography. The spirit is a direct reflection of the land. Every region tells its own unique, thrilling story in flavor. Let's start in Speyside, the heartland of single malt production. Over half of Scotland's distilleries are here, in this lush valley fed by the pure River Spey. The whiskies, smooth, elegant, and often sweet. Imagine notes of ripe apples and pears, hints of honey, and a delicate floral character. These are approachable, sophisticated drams, a perfect, delicious introduction to the world of single malts. Next we journey to the wild, windswept Isle of Islay, the Queen of the Hebrides. Here, the whiskies are bold, smoky, and peaty. The peat, soaked with centuries of sea spray, is used to dry the malted barley, giving powerful flavors of smoke, iodine, and brine. An Islay dram is an elemental experience, a taste of the wild Atlantic itself. The Highlands, Scotland's largest whisky region. This vast, dramatic landscape produces an incredible spectrum of styles. From the heathery, floral notes of the Central Highlands to the robust, rich, and complex malts of the north, these drams balance strength with elegance. You might taste dried fruit, nuts, and a subtle, refined smokiness, each sip reflecting the wild, varied terrain. In contrast, the lowlands offer a softer, gentler profile. Traditionally triple distilled, these whiskies are light, grassy, and floral, with notes of honeysuckle, cream, and citrus. Often called the lowland ladies for their delicate, refined character, they're the perfect aperitif, a subtle, welcoming dram. To truly appreciate this liquid gold, you have to step inside a distillery and witness the magic firsthand. The process is a beautiful fusion of nature, science, and time-honored tradition, absolutely mesmerizing. It all begins with barley, steeped in water to start germination, unlocking the starches within. Then it's dried in a kiln, sometimes over a smoky peat fire, filling the air with the rich, sweet aroma of malt. The dried malt is milled into a coarse flour called grist, ready for the next step. This grist is mixed with hot water in a giant mash tun, creating a sugary liquid called wort. The wort is cooled and pumped into washbacks where yeast is added, then fermentation begins. It's a bubbling, living process that transforms sugars into alcohol, creating a type of beer known as wash. Science in action. Now for the magic, distillation. The wash is heated in magnificent copper pot stills. The shape of each still is vital. Every curve and angle influences the spirit's final character. As the liquid heats, the alcohol evaporates, rises, and condenses back into a more concentrated liquid. This is usually done twice, purifying and refining the spirit to perfection. But the clear, fiery, new-make spirit isn't whiskey yet. Its color and most of its complex flavor come from years, sometimes decades, of patient maturation. The spirit is filled into oak casks, some once holding bourbon, others sherry, and laid to rest in cool stone warehouses. Each year a little evaporates, the angels share, a poetic sacrifice for the depth and smoothness that remains. The result of all this patience and craft? A spirit of incredible complexity. This is Whisky, Scotland's liquid heritage, a story in every single glass. But whiskey, as central as it is only part of Scotland's rich cultural tapestry. To truly know this country, you must listen to the haunting call of the great Highland bagpipes. This is the nation's soul-given voice, an instrument of war, lament, and celebration, its powerful drone echoing across the ancient windswept landscapes. You have to feel the energy of a Ceilidh. It's more than a dance, it's a wild, joyful gathering of community and spirit. Don't worry if you don't know the steps, a friendly caller will guide you through the swirling, laughing chaos. It's pure, unadulterated joy, a celebration of togetherness. You must see the threads of history woven by hand. Tartan isn't just cloth, it's identity. Each pattern or set is a badge of belonging, representing a clan, a family, or a region. Once banned as a symbol of rebellion, it's now worn with immense pride, a vibrant link to a resilient past. And finally, you have to share a moment in a pub. Meet a people fiercely proud of their home, yet warm and eager to share its stories. Here, over a pint or a dram, you'll find the famous Scottish crack, that untranslatable mix of good humor, sharp wit, and captivating conversation. This is the living culture of Scotland, a nation that welcomes you not as a tourist but as a friend. Scotland is so much more than just a destination. It's an adventure waiting to be lived. It's a story carved in stone castles, echoing with centuries of triumph and legend, a song soaring on the wind across the wild Highlands, unforgettable and alive, a spirit poured with pride into every glass of whiskey. Cheers to Scotland's heart. Here, history, myth and tradition burst to life. What a place to experience. This is Scotland, bold and breathtaking, timeless, proud, absolutely unforgettable.